Hello, this is Opinion Radar, and I'm thrilled to share a fresh find that's been lighting up my makeup bag lately. As someone who's spent the better part of a few decades perfecting a look that feels both polished and age-friendly, I'm always on the hunt for products that respect mature skin while still delivering a pop of color. Today's spotlight is the Laura Geller New York Baked Palette, a compact collection that promises versatility without the clutter of a full-size kit. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through how this palette fits into my everyday routine, from quick errands to special family gatherings, and why its blend of shades might just become a staple for anyone seeking effortless elegance. So sit back, grab a cup of tea, and let's dive into the experience of unboxing and testing this charming little treasure. When I first opened the Laura Geller New York Baked Palette, I was immediately taken by the sleek, travel-friendly packaging that feels solid in my hands yet fits neatly into my purse. The 12-pan layout, bronzer, blush, 2 highlighters, and 3 eyeshadows, all baked into a single compact promises, both convenience and a splash of color. Priced at $34, the palette sits in a sweet spot where I don't feel like I'm splurging, yet I'm getting a professional-grade selection that many full-size kits reserve for larger budgets. The baked formula gives a creamy, blendable texture that doesn't cake on mature skin, which is a blessing for someone who's spent a few decades learning to work with makeup that can settle into fine lines. From the moment I swiped on the first shade, the pigments felt rich and true to color, setting a hopeful tone for the rest of my experience. One of the first things I noticed is how the colors pop without looking harsh, a quality that's hard to find in palettes aimed at younger skin. The bronzer has a warm, sandy hue that adds a gentle lift to my cheekbones, while the blush delivers a soft rose that mimics a natural flush after a brisk walk. The 2 highlighters, one with a subtle pearl and the other with a more pronounced sparkle, let me dial in the amount of glow I'm comfortable with. A light dusting gives that no makeup radiance I love for daytime errands, and a richer swipe works beautifully for evening gatherings. Even the eyeshadows blend seamlessly, providing matte neutrals for a subdued look and a shimmery taupe that adds definition without emphasizing any fine lines around the eyes. I appreciate that the palette's finishes stay true whether I'm using a damp brush or a dry one, giving me flexibility depending on my skin's moisture level. Because the palette is compact enough to slide into my handbag, it's become my go-to for quick touch UPS during grocery trips or when I'm visiting my grandchildren. I often start with a light sweep of the bronzer on the perimeter of my face, then dab a whisper of blush on the apples of my cheeks. The colors meld together with a single blend, creating a lifted yet understated base. For eyes, I use the matte shade to define the crease and the shimmery one on the lid. Then finish with a soft line of the darkest shade along the lower lash line for subtle definition. If the highlighter feels a touch too sparkly for daytime, I reach for my translucent powder, something I already keep on hand, to mute the shine without losing the luminous effect. This little trick has saved me from looking overly glossy, especially on humid afternoons when my skin tends to get a sheen. No product is perfect, and I've found a few quirks that may influence whether this palette fits your needs. The brighter highlighter leans toward a metallic finish, which can feel a bit theatrical if you're aiming for a truly natural look. I've learned to use a light hand or pair it with a mattifying powder, but it does require that extra step. The blush leans toward a pink-toned hue, which brightens warm undertones wonderfully, but can clash with cooler complexions, so those with more neutral or olive tones might need to blend it with a deeper shade. One of the pans, specifically the bronzer, arrived with a small chip, which is disappointing given the overall quality of the other pans. Finally, at $34, the price is reasonable for a multi-use palette, yet the lack of an included brush means you'll have to purchase a separate applicator if you don't already own one, adding a modest extra cost. I've worn this palette through several family gatherings, a church brunch, and even a weekend garden party, and each time the compliments have poured in. My daughter told me my cheeks look soft and radiant, and a few friends remarked that my eye makeup had a fresh, youthful glow despite my 60-plus years. The formula's smooth texture has been kind to my sensitive skin. I never experience the itching or redness that some powders can cause, and the colors stay put for up to 8 hours, even when I'm dancing at a birthday celebration. Pairing the palette with my favorite powder foundation creates a seamless base that blurs fine lines, and the subtle shimmer of the highlighter catches the light just enough to highlight my cheekbones without emphasizing the small creases that have begun to appear over the years. All things considered, the Laura Geller Bake Palette feels like a thoughtful companion for women who want a modest collection that performs well across date and night scenarios. Its blend of warm neutrals, rosy blush, and versatile highlighters gives enough flexibility to create a natural no makeup look for grocery runs or a polished glow for special occasions, while the baked formula ensures easy application on mature skin. The occasional overshiny finish and the missing brush are minor trade offs compared with the overall pigment payoff and the long lasting wear. If you're comfortable with a modest investment and don't mind adding a brush of your own, I would recommend this palette to anyone in their 50s or 60s looking for reliable color that brightens the complexion without feeling heavy or cakey. Sweet friends, if this little baked treasure sparked your curiosity, give this video a gentle like and brush that subscribe button like you dust on a fresh cheek. Join me for more timeless makeup tips, and let's keep our beauty bags and our community full of radiant discoveries together every day ahead.